Hey guys, it's the novel Strumpet from Mike the Fanboy, and I'm here today to talk to you about the 13th in the Mary Russell series by Laurie R. Dreaming Spies. A friend of mine has my copy of the book, but I wanted you guys to see the cover because, like most of the other covers, it kind of gives you a clue as to what the book is about. So you'll see some cherry blossoms, some city spires, and my personal favorite is this adorable silhouette of Mary and Holmes. Anyway, kind of what the cover is hinting at as this book does take place in Oxford and Japan. So the book opens 1925 Oxford. Mary and Holmes have returned after solving a previous mystery, exhausted, but there's never rest for the wicked with these two. So Mary goes back to Oxford, runs into a former acquaintance from Japan, Haruki Sato. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And learns that the mystery they thought they had solved the previous year wasn't really solved at all. And it involves one of Holmes's favorites, a blackmailer. And anyone who knows Sherlock Holmes knows he hates them. So, now we flashback. Getting on a boat from India to Japan, Holmes and Mary witness a Lord Darley getting on the boat, which Holmes then informs Russell he is a known blackmailer, therefore Holmes is going to be suspicious of him the entire cruise, which dismays Mary and kind of upsets her because she was hoping it was going to be a quiet cruise and they would just get to sit back and she'd get to catch up on her reading. She should know by now that's never going to happen. Along the way, they meet this Haruki, who agrees to teach them a little bit of Japanese. And then Mary and Holmes start to think, there's more to this girl than meets the eye. Turns out they're right. She's not only an acrobat, she's a ninja. A ninja. Yeah. So, they get to Japan. Haruki gives them a little bit of a puzzle to solve, which takes them on a journey through the the countryside up to another area where they meet up with her and learn that the Emperor of Japan would like their help because apparently someone is trying to blackmail him. Who could that be? So they agree, of course, to help. They head back to Tokyo, work with Haruki and her father to try to figure out how to infiltrate the Darleys. There's costumes, there's pretending, that he's the dotty old man and she's the young blushing bride. Espionage, intrigue, well, the things you would expect. So they think that they've caught the blackmailers. They think they've gotten the item that was being held for ransom back to the Emperor. Cut to modern day, they find out that's not the case. The book that they thought they had recovered, which was the actual book, was actually another copy. So now they've got to try to track down the real book. Lord Darley already being dead, the question is who actually has it and is still blackmailing the Emperor. So, not my favorite in the series, but that being said, that doesn't mean it's a bad book because Laurie R. cannot write a bad book, in my humble opinion. The woman is a brilliant writer. If you've never read one of her books, I suggest you go out and grab one. If you want to read the Mary Russell and Sherlock Holmes series, which I think you should pick up The Beekeeper's... That was upside down. The Beekeeper's Apprentice. This is the first book in the Mary Russell Sherlock Holmes series. You will love it. The thing that she does right that I feel no other author has done right is give him a romantic interest that makes sense. I generally tend to cringe when people try to give Sherlock Holmes a romantic interest because they can never do it right. But she gets it right. Nail on the head. It's brilliant. You'll love it. So, as I said, not my favorite. Things I didn't like, I think the flashbacks kind of took away from the story instead of really getting to, I feel, dig into the mystery and really get your teeth into it and spend all this time with the two of them, finding clues and twists and turns. I feel like it was more kind of like, okay, we're on a ship. Oh, something happened. Now we're in Japan. Oh, let's get a bunch of the cultural and political landscape that's going on here. Oh, now we've solved it. Okay, now we're back in Oxford. Oh, wait, we didn't solve it. Well, how are we going to solve it? Oh, look, forgers. Oh, look, now we found the blackmailer. And scene. Um, that being said, what I think the book got right and what I loved about it was that Holmes and Russell don't solve the mystery. And that's awesome. They're basically pawns in the whole thing and not Mycroft's. They're basically the pawns of Haruki. She works for the Emperor, which they already knew after the former acquaintance, and she basically uses them to get to the blackmailers so that she can tie everything up. So the end scene is amazing, even if the rest of the book is a little. Once you get to the end, I loved it because suddenly they're both like, "What? Wait a second, what? She had this whole thing solved the entire time? Wow!" So that's what I really loved about the book. Some other things, like I said, she does talk a bit about the culture and the political things that were going on in 1924 around Japan at that time. It's kind of fascinating. I do like the fact that she put Holmes and Russell on a foot journey through there, so you could kind of get a little bit about what the culture would have been like, as far as like riding on trains and the countryside and the buildings. There's always a lot of brilliant things like that in her books. But yeah, in the end, not the best, not the worst, but a pretty solid novel in this series. So I would say, out of 5 stars, I'd probably give it a 3. And that's not too bad. So, if you want, do yourselves a favor, go out and pick it up. Again, if you've never read one of her books, probably not the best book to start off the Mary Russell series with. Like I said, I would probably go back and pick up The Beekeeper's Apprentice to do that. And enjoy. All right, guys, see you next time. Bye.